Welcome back from the break, guys. Joining me in the studio today is brother Subhi Alshaik, the director of 1ISLAM Productions and One for Kids. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, sister.
Now, mashallah, I know some people have heard about you, and if they haven't heard about you personally, they've heard about, mashallah, 1ISLAM Productions, or they've seen the DVDs, or they've seen Zaki, and they've seen, what's lying around and stuff. At the Yfactor, we wanted to get the behind the scenes on, what made 1ISLAM, what was the vision behind it, and who the man is that actually, was the inspiration behind, mashallah, all this great work. So, brother Subhi, can you just tell us a bit about yourself, please?
Okay, originally Lebanese, whether you want to know or not. Alhamdulillah, sometimes in life, you don't know what's going to inspire you. You don't know what direction you're going to take in life. Probably from about 5 years before I will say came back to Islam. Some people say, are you a revert? I said, well, I don't know if I'm a Muslim when I'm not praying and living that jahil type of life. But coming back to Islam in probably 1999, spent 5 years prior just trying to get a record deal, producing songs. We got songs played on Today FM. It just kind of got to the stage where it was getting really big. And then one day my mum decides to tell me that, you ever heard of Cat Stevens? And I said, yeah, of course. Every musician knows Cat Stevens. And then he said, well, him and your uncle in London are like best friends. I asked my mum, well, okay, how long has it since you've seen your brother in London? She said, 12 years. I said, well, I booked a ticket, I think, the same day and got my demo ready and going to meet Cat Stevens, not knowing that Cat Stevens is now Yusuf Islam.
Subhanallah.
And he's, not involved in the music industry as much. So I think I just stepped straight off the airport into my uncle's car, into his house, and he just grabbed the phone and said, here's Yusuf, speak to him now.
Whoa.
I said, what? Give me some time to prepare. So he threw the phone on. I was like just this little girl on the phone, all excited, and didn't know what to say. And I just couldn't believe I was on the phone with Cat Stevens, a legend, and now our brother Yusuf Islam, as we know. And yeah, he straight away said, yeah, bring your CD demo over and I'll have a listen to it. And
did you explain what the song was?
Well, I said he obviously knew, he could see from my voice, but you could see as he's speaking to me, he had a big smile on his face as this young guy who's ambitious, he wants a record deal, get into the music industry. Because we had sort of reached our heights in Sydney, we had been on radio and some, big so-called parties and New Year's Eve bashes and all that. And I wanted to take it to another level, just the nature as always, you want to progress fast. So I thought, you're going to someone who at one stage was pretty much bigger than the Beatles and bigger than Michael Jackson, and here he is with your demo album. So pretty much he listened to it and everything, and then the next day he had to travel, as he always does, and he sent me a letter of fax and just told me, look, as much as I want to help, I've kind of left that industry and it's not really the best industry. And probably one line in that he actually faxed it to my uncle's house, and one line in that fax that probably woke me up, I think, subhanAllah, I had to travel all the way to London to get that bit of inspiration, the turning point as I call it. And he just said something in that line that, my religion does not, give you any, what's the word I'm looking for?
Accommodate? Yeah,
like it doesn't accommodate, or it's not really made for the music business. It's surrounded by drugs and alcohol, and we know all the rest. And when I thought, your religion, that's my religion. But then that's when I woke up and thought, nah, Subhi, I think your religion, you've given it to him, and now you're almost, like I say to people, like he threw out the trash, and I'm going through his trash, and my treasure I've left it, and he's taken my treasure, which is Islam. And at that point I thought, I think I travelled to Paris and Beirut and came back home, and the whole time I was just thinking about this, that someone's taken my religion and he's actually on the right path now. He's left the heights of the, they used to say that he was on top of the world, and then now he puts his head on the ground, praying 5 times a day, and he's content and happy, alhamdulillah. So coming back, typically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a plan for us, and we found a record deal waiting for us, a 3-year record deal, and it was with the same management as Backstreet Boys before they had come out, and I had got in, and we, and subhanAllah, at the same time I started reading the biography of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As growing up as youth, this is one thing, we hear Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we hear this, we hear that, this Prophet. But my advice to the youth is just read the biography of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and you'll be blown away.
Yeah, somehow to get that first-hand experience of who this amazing man was.
You'll just fall in love with this man, and subhanAllah, and that's where my sort of change happened. I had a record deal in one hand, and I had the biography. You know, I was in the studio with the guys, and I was reading this book. Couldn't take it out of my hand, and yeah, just like that.
That sounds like a midlife crisis there.
It was. It's sort of, should I go in there? You know, as we think we'll become famous and all the rest of it, and then, you know, then come to the deen. But I'm thinking, Subhi, you're throwing yourself out to the wolves. You know, you might not come back alive. You could die tonight. You could die on your way to the studio. You could die traveling to some country. I thought, do you want to take that path? So I started to make a lot of istikhara, and being a songwriter, a lot of my songs, the studio wanted to take, but they wanted to own the rights. So that was the point where I thought, well, you can't have my songs unless you can use them, but they're mine. And a little bit of back and forth when I finally said, that's the sign, I'm out.
SubhanAllah.
And I completely left the industry, and, you know, haven't looked back till probably Zaki forced me back in there, kids songs and...
Hey, that's halal, it's G-rated.
Alhamdulillah. People said, do songs, you know, and I'm not a fan of reinventing the wheel, so I thought, okay, let me do some would say music's halal, some's haram. It was this debate that couldn't get, you know, answered. So I thought, look, Zayn Bika's doing a great job, even Yusuf Islam's doing a great job. So many artists out there. I thought there's no need for me to make nasheeds. And, you know, with the whole music, non-music and debate, I just thought anything you're in doubt of, just kind of stay away from it. And that was it. I just sort of thought, what else? What does the Muslim Ummah need? And I looked around, and I used to walk into stores and buy every single DVD and CD in there, and found that probably 90% of them I threw in the rubbish because you couldn't hear it or you couldn't see the picture properly. I thought the most beautiful religion, or the true religion, is being represented by, you know, the worst of quality. And that I said, nah, someone's got to do something. I tried to use some of my savings from the past till that wore out and gone. I tried to get funding, and then 9/11 hit, and then it was almost like everyone was just scared to deal with anyone. Everyone was, you know, so 9/11 kind of changed the world, and then I had to go alone and do it all alone. And alhamdulillah, a lot of family and friends and good brothers and sisters that just loaned us money, and we paid them back till we kind of established 1ISLAM Productions. You probably noticed the word one seems to be in all our organisations, with one for kids, one media, 1ISLAM, because I just found that disunity was another issue with the Muslims, people not networking, you know, was kind of something I found a bit hurtful, that, you know, being Muslim should be enough for us to work together and love one another and be tolerant. And yet we were trying to be tolerant with every other religion, but yeah,
except ours, yeah.
Home, our backyard was a bit of a mess. Speaking
of the Muslim community, you know, we often, a lot of the youth feel like when they want to do something, they face a lot of obstacles within the actual Muslim community, who, you know, seem to find every possible, you know, impediment to put in their way. You came up with the idea, mashallah, of, you know, entering, you know, starting a Islamic production studio. What were the sentiments like at that moment? Because a lot of people, you know, just equate anything entertainment related, or not even entertainment related, like the word studio is just like astaghfirullah, you know, fasad, blah blah blah. How did you? What were the sentiments at the time?
Look, I took the safe approach in terms of anything, you know, and this is another advice to every Muslim out there, is anytime you have a problem, you know, we all love to ask our mashaykh, and may Allah reward them, and it's good to ask your mashaykh, but if you get different of opinion, there's one sheikh that you should go to that I recommend, and that's the Prophet ﷺ.
For a second, you gave me a heart attack. I thought you'd say Sheikh Google.
This guy, or is it Sheikh? This guy, no.
Yeah.
This Sheikh's been around. He's the most beautiful human being. He's our best friend. He's, you know, there's so much good you can say about him. There's nothing bad you can say about him. And books of hadith, there's his life. I personally found a lot of, you know, the rights and wrongs that I got, the halal, haram. I didn't, you know, there are ahadith, but also ahadith, there's debates on weak and all the rest of it. When you read the life of the Prophet ﷺ, you'll find that he's going through almost what we're going through. Hardship. Should I leave Sydney and go somewhere safe because there's too much fasad? When he left to Medina, how did he deal with that? How did he deal with having a neighbour that's a non-Muslim, which we're going through right now? You know, he had a solution for everything. His diet, you know, people say to me, oh, I'm trying this diet, I'm trying that diet, I'm overweight, I'm sick, I've got diet. I say, brother, the best diet is the Prophet ﷺ's diet. You leave a third of your stomach empty. You leave the other third for water, other third for food. Now do that diet and eat small meals, and you know that's exactly the diet 1400 years ago. It's proven today that it's the only diet that works. Don't get me wrong. If you're going to eat like a pig all day, it's natural. You're going to get fat. So you
They're
can't
appreciating
do that and
the
say, what's the
bounties of
magic
Allah.
diet? So my advice to my brothers and sisters out there, and inshallah definitely to myself, is any obstacle you find, take the safe route. People said music the issue. I said, okay, I'm going to do voice only, because I don't want one person, a parent, to go to get a copy of our film or go online, watch our film and say, no, he's got music. I wanted the ones that with or without music. In other words, everyone's
the safe option for all.
Safe option for everyone. It's not that I'm on the view of music's halal or haram. I leave that. I just leave things alone sometimes because I'm not a scholar. I let the scholars deal with it. But that's in terms of doing things. Once you find an obstacle, it's not a matter of saying, walk away. I could have walked away a long time ago, and we wouldn't have what we have in terms of media. I won't say I changed I'm a revolution in the Muslim media world, but I got a lot of media companies to step it up. And when I came in with the quality we were doing, a lot of the our old friends had to shift their game up and realize they couldn't continue doing the quality they were doing. So with that, you're one person. Don't think you need millions of dollars, which is what I always thought. I need millions of dollars to do this. I just did it, with a strong, reliance on Allah. And alhamdulillah, till now, I just got off the phone with some guy in the Middle East, and I'm still asking, can you give us some funding, please? We're doing this, but we just want to do it on a much bigger scale. The demand is there for what we do. So,
Subhi, what's the situation like with Islam Productions now? I know you guys are releasing the DVDs from all the lectures. So what other projects are involved in 1ISLAM Productions?
Well, at the moment, I probably haven't even brought this out in public yet, but what we're trying to do, because as you know, with the world of YouTube, a lot of people go on YouTube today, and it could be the silliest video of someone doing something silly, and
you'll hit
200 million hits. And it's like, you think, okay, so people are going on YouTube, and even is some things to do with Islam. Like we put some of our Zaki Nasheed on there recently. It's up to 150,000 within a year, and we thought, okay, there's something here. So I thought, well, I'm not going to wait around to build a TV station and all the rest of it. Why don't we get enough content and just put it online, and inshallah just rely on YouTube and other, because internet is getting faster.
That's right. 5
years ago, forget it, you'd have to wait an hour for buffering and all the rest of it. But at the moment, we're looking at getting, inshallah, 1ISLAM TV up and running, which won't be another TV station like many of our ones out there. Allah reward them. I don't like to put anyone down. Everyone who's started anything, it's a building block. I like to take that block and take it to another level. So rather than just a TV station with as we say in the industry, talking heads, with just a brother or a sister or a sheikh standing in front of a camera just talking, I think what the youth want is more powerful, engaging programming, which is what we're inshallah able to do. And so with that, we're planning to do children's programming. Obviously we already have the Zaki series, but we want to build on that and do programming similar. But we're finding there's a gap between 11, 12-year-olds up to about 23. There's those youth that aren't really getting anything for them.
And they're, I think, the most vulnerable at that stage.
Yep, they're kind of in that.
Because you go from listening to your mum's Zayn Bika in the car to getting to high school, and it's like, oh, that's not cool anymore.
That's right.
And you're too kind of young to listen to the lectures and stuff that 20-year-olds listen to. And that vulnerable stage, subhanallah, it makes or breaks it.
That's the part that I've been working years on, and I thought, well, what are they watching? So we looked at what programming youth are watching, South Park, and they really don't have role models. Alhamdulillah, we have some great athletes like Hazem and Masri,
Mondain,
and others that are kind of a role model. Without them, you probably wouldn't have. They'd have to go to 50 cents and 20 cents, and I don't know what other football players are out there, but that's their role models. And if you look at these role models carefully, they doing things that
their lifestyle that impersonate is not Islamic. Yep.
It's a jahil lifestyle, and we can't let our youth go there. We can't.
So I hope you're not planning to funkify Zaki and make him the. Oh, okay.
No. Zaki's got an age limit up to about 10, 11. He's we're going to stop him at that age and say, okay, you butt out now.
Yeah.
But now we're developing new characters. We're working on a series similar to South Park.
Oh, subhanallah.
It's pretty much for anywhere from about 13, 14 up to adults.
Wow.
And dealing with the community issues that we have, but more in a bit of comedy, a bit of fun. Similar to my brother Baba Ali, who you may know of, does the Ummah films on YouTube.
Yep.
Well, he took issues and just put them out there in a funny way, and people accepted that.
That's right.
People didn't like, or youth, they're very sensitive. They don't like being told what to do.
And they don't like being preached to. Yeah. So he's saying in a funny.
He did it in a fun way. He was dressed like them, acted like them, spoke like them, but the message he gave them was, that look, sisters, this is the issue with hijab. Look, brothers, we've got to be honest in our business dealings. But he put it in a nice way. And alhamdulillah, a lot of
his hijab one was the Mickey Mouse hijab.
The hijab one, I know a lot of sisters that you cannot speak to them about the hijab. And as soon as he brought that out, a lot of people thought, wow. And a lot of sisters, just to have a laugh about it, just to leave them with something to think about. Yeah. Because you cannot change, if anyone was going to change, it would have been the Prophet ﷺ's uncle. It's as close as you get to someone. And that's the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, or Ibrahim alayhi salam. His own father was an idol.
Worshipper. Yep. Yeah. Well, brothers, so I think you've given a lot to think about. Just concluding remarks for the youth. What do you want to tell the youth? I think, in your experience, a lot of them kind of are where you were at, or they're going through, your transition midlife crisis stage, or some of them are at the stage you're at, inshallah. Yeah. What's just your final concluding words to the youth out there?
All right. Well, I want to tell them there's somebody out there that's pretty much their companion wherever they go, and that's the shaitan. The shaitan tricks you into thinking you're going to live forever. This is the one thing. At your age, you think you don't need your parents because you got your friends. You think you don't need money because somehow you'll get by. You don't have to pay rents or anything. But I've got to tell you, brothers, you've only got, and sisters, is that you've only got about a couple of years of that freedom before reality hits. When you turn around and your friends are all on their way, working, families, there's no way in the world you can rely on friends as much as you can rely on family, but more so on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you leave Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're finished. It's almost like a quick example is it's almost like someone who's adopted. They've got the best parents in the world, and they're taking care of them. They've sent them to Harvard, and they've excelled. They're now a big CEO in a company, but their whole life there's an empty feeling that who is my real mum or dad? They want to know their mum and dad. Now this is just their parents. Now who created you and your parents? When you don't know who that person or who that being is, and you've lost that connection with the meaning of life and what's going to happen to me when I breathe my last breath and they throw me, not throw you, but put you underground. Not knowing that in life is why Oprah Winfrey, Brad Pitt, you just have to listen to their interviews and look in their eyes. They're extremely rich and successful, but they are the most unhappy people because they think they have everything, but they still don't understand why they're here and where they're going. So if you're living in life, my advice to you, brothers and sisters, you're going to want to have fun, you're going to want to do all these things, but these are all short-term. Short-term things that they're not going to last. Believe me, we've all gone through it. Your parents, one day, inshallah, if Allah guides you, you'll be saying the same thing to your children, not to waste their time. So I would say, to make sure that you guard your life, whether it's your profession, personal life, to guard yourself from the shaitan.
Thank you so much, brother. And for those who do want more information about 1ISLAM, where can they go?
Well, our website's got everything, just 1ISLAM, so the number 1, ISLAM.net.net, 1ISLAM.net. It'll link you to One for Kids and all the other little links we have, inshallah.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for all those beautiful, wise words. And for me, I knew of 1ISLAM production and I've seen some of your work as well, but hearing your story, how it actually came about, is just like
amazing
really. And I just also wanted to know if any of the people, from young people or anybody from the community, wanted to get involved with 1ISLAM production in any way, to
what
work with you. Yeah. Can they actually do that, and how to go about that?
Well, look, for a few years now we've been trying to establish some sort of a college, a film, you know, where kids can come, youth that, you know, I always say when I go to schools, I say amongst you there may be a Steven Spielberg, there might be someone amongst you who's a, you know, who's a Cat Stevens, let's say, who can write songs, poetry, and you know, this is something that we will never know until we give them that, you know, that channel for them to come and sit down and see what they want to do as an alternative, because media is absolutely everywhere we look. You know, now the iPhones have changed the world again. Every time a new technology comes out, you know, everything's reliant on on media. So, look, a lot of you do call us up. If they call us up, sometimes just to ask for advice, I'm very happy to give them advice. Next week, subhanAllah, I asked this question. Next week, we got a young guy doing work experience with us. He happens to be my nephew, so it's much easier for him. But you know, doesn't know what to do. I said, look, come do work experience for a week and see if you like it. But you know, just another bit of advice is do whatever you choose in your career. Make sure you love what you do. You know, money will come and go, but happiness is the most important thing. So do what you love. And send us an email if you want to know or send us a script, you know, fool around on your phone, make a film, send it to us, and inshallah we'll have a look at it and tell you whether you should quit your day job or not.
Alright, once again, Jazakallah khair, brother Subhi, and inshallah good luck with your future adventures. Jazakallah khair.